Hello, welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday Wellness Live. I'm Nancy Teeter, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. One of the questions I am asked frequently has to do with sugar. It's really a two-part question. How much sugar is okay for me to have? Or the other side of the question is, what can I do about my sugar addiction? You know, human beings are designed to like sweet things. Our reason for this is that when we are needing energy, our bodies know that sugar is a quick to digest and utilize source of energy. So a bit of sugar can give us energy to run or fight or do whatever it is that we need to do, but it also quickly falls. As we have talked about in managing healthy blood sugar. And our human bodies are also been trained to know that sugar is safe. And that is because almost everything that's poison is bitter. And we have to learn to trust and to like bitter things. And almost nothing that is sweet is also poison. So we as human beings trust sweet, and we also have a preference for sweet. And we see this even in infants, that infants prefer sweet. So if you like sweet things, you're human. And then the next thing is, well, then how much added sugar is okay? Well, recognize that added sugar is pretty much empty calories. There is nothing coming with the added sugar that brings you a great deal of nutrition. So it has a really low nutrient density. So we do want to minimize our added sugar. But what science suggests is that for women, added sugar can account for about 100 calories a day. Now that can add up pretty quickly because a teaspoon of sugar is about 20 calories, and a teaspoon is 4 grams of added sugar. So if you see that a product you're buying has 4 grams of added sugar, that means that it also has about a teaspoon of sugar. And these things add up very quickly in salad dressings, ready-to-eat cereals. I found it in a cheese I was given recently. And so we do find ourselves with plenty of added sugar in our diet. So just be mindful. It's not only the sugar that you add to your coffee or to your cereal, but it's in those purchased products as well. So you want to just minimize your added sugar. But recognize if you like sweet things, it's a good sign because you are human. Now, we also know that when we eat sugar and that levels of sugar increases in the blood and that glucose crosses the blood-brain barrier, that it actually produces dopamine. It's that feel-good hormone. And we know there are cases where people have a difference in how lit up that section of the brain gets with the ingestion of sugar. We also know that as we increase the sugar in our diet, it ends up taking more and more sugar to get that same positive reaction. So the lower we can keep our sugar intake, the better. But the downside of taking away sugar altogether is that it creates an opportunity for a binge. And we've seen this in animal studies where with mice, they gave the mice a bottle that had sugar liquid in it, along with the regular, whatever nutritional material was in the other bottle or just water. And when the bottle with the sweet solution hung in the cage the whole time, the mice would just sometimes take a little taste of the sweet solution. But when they took it away after it had been there and then put it back and then took it away and then put it back, they found that the mice actually binged on the sweet solution when it was available. And it's because the brain says, I may never have this again, so I better take all I can now. So when you take away all your sweet surprises, then when you actually get a sweet treat, you're likely to overdo. So that is the reaction. But so there are people who have a bit of an addiction to sugar, but the bigger issue is removing the sugar altogether. Now, I mentioned at the very beginning, sugar has a low nutrient density. So, if we can have sweet things that actually provide nutrition at the same time, that's a better alternative. So, let's say that your sweet treat of choice is a Snickers bar. And it's got milk chocolate and gooey, chewy caramel and peanuts for crunch. Could you mimic that? My suggestion is maybe a date or a prune with a nut of your choice. It could be peanuts and some dark chocolate, but I'd keep it to about 70% cacao so it melts easily. Milk chocolate doesn't have any healthy isoflavones in it, so we want to go to dark chocolate, but don't want to get too dark. And we put a bit of this chocolate and nut and fruit all together in one morsel and stick it in the mouth and chew it up thoroughly and taste it and savor it. And we have crunch and chew and sweet and chocolate. And it's really a nice nutrient dense treat instead of pretty much empty calories. So that's something to think about as well. So a little bit of sugar every day is fine. Again, up to 100 calories a day for women, 150 calories a day for men. It's really based on a percentage of overall calorie consumption. And then minimizing the added sugar otherwise and finding good, healthy substitutes. And when you choose to have something sweet, always eating mindfully. If you have any questions for me, I hope you will post them in the comment section and I will try to address them in future sessions here in Nancy Teeter Live Wellness Wednesday. Eat for health, eat for love, and eat to nourish your body. We'll see you next week.